The days at the library and Jeff's Pizza soon started to add up. The first couple of weeks had been great, but now the library didn't have the next book in the series he was reading, and he had grown bored with his online fantasy game, which, while advertised as free, now wouldn't let him advance any further without paying money. He had gotten tired of not having anybody his age to hang out with. He hadn't gotten tired of pizza yet, but he was starting to imagine that he might in the future. Tonight was family fun night, a one-night-a-week event that varied depending on Mom's work schedule. Back when the mill was still open, family fun night meant dinner in a restaurant, pizza or Chinese or Mexican. After their meal, they'd do some fun activity together. They'd go to the movies if something kid-friendly was playing, but if not, they'd go to the bowling alley or to the roller rink where Mom and Dad used to go on dates when they were in high school. Mom and Dad were great skaters, and Oswald was terrible, but they'd skate on either side of him, holding his hands and keeping him up. They'd usually top off their evening with a waffle cone at the ice cream place downtown. Oswald and Mom would make fun of Dad because no matter what ice cream flavors were available, he always got vanilla. Since the mill closed down, though, family fun night had turned into an at-home affair. Mom would make something for dinner that was easy but festive, like tacos from a mix or hot dogs. They'd eat and then play board games or watch a movie they'd rented from Redbox. It was still fun, of course, but sometimes Oswald wished aloud for the old days of seeing new movies at the theater and having waffle cones after, and Dad had to remind him that the important thing was that they all got to spend time together. Sometimes, when the weather was nice, they'd have a family fun night. They'd pack a picnic of cold cuts and salads courtesy of the snack space and head over to the state park. They'd eat their dinner at a wooden table and watch the squirrels and birds and raccoons. Afterwards, they'd go for a walk on one of the hiking trails. These outings were always a nice change. But Oswald was also aware that the only reason these were the family fun nights that got them out of the house were picnics were free. Tonight they were staying in. Mom had made spaghetti and garlic bread. They had played a game of Clue, which Mom won, as she usually did, and now they were piled up on the couch together, in their pajamas, with a huge bowl of popcorn between them, watching a remake of an old science fiction movie. Once the movie was over, Dad said, "Well, that was pretty good, but not as good as the real version." "What do you mean, the real version?" Oswald said. "That was a real version." "Not really," Dad said. "I mean, it was set in the same universe as the real version, but it was kind of a cheap knockoff of the one that came out when I was a kid." Dad always had to be so opinionated. He could never just watch something and enjoy it. "So the best movies are always the ones that you watched when you were a kid?" Oswald said. "Not always, but in this case, yes." Dad was settling in. Oswald could tell for one of his favorite things. A good argument. "But the special effects in the original version stink," Oswald said. "All those puppets and rubber masks." "I'll take a puppet or a model over CGI any day," Dad said, leaning back on the couch and propping his feet on the coffee table. "That stuff is so slick and fake. It's got no warmth, no texture. And besides, you like those old Zendrelix movies, and the special effects in those are terrible." "Yeah, but I just watched those to make fun of them," Oswald said, even though he really did think Zendrelix was pretty cool. Mom came in from the kitchen with bowls of ice cream. Not as good as the waffle cone place, but nothing to turn your nose up at either. "Okay, if you guys don't cut out the nerd argument, I'm going to pick the next movie we watch. And it's going to be a romantic comedy." Oswald and his dad shut up immediately. "That's about what I thought," Mom said, passing around the bowls of ice cream. As Oswald was lying in bed sketching his mechanical animals, his phone vibrated on his nightstand. There was only one other person other than his parents who ever texted him. "Hey," Ben had typed on the screen. "Hey back," Oswald typed. "How's your summer?" "Awesome. At Myrtle Beach for vacation. It's so cool. Arcades and mini-golf everywhere." "Jealous," Oswald typed, and he meant it. A beach with arcades and mini-golf really did sound awesome. "Wish you were here," Ben typed. "Me too." "How's your summer?" "It's okay," Oswald texted. He was briefly tempted to make his summer sound cooler than it was, but he could never lie to Ben. "Been going to the library a lot, lunch at Jeff's Pizza." "That's all?" It did sound pathetic compared with a family trip to the beach. He texted, pretty much, yeah. I'm sorry, Ben texted, and then, that pizza place is creepy. They chatted a little while longer, and although Oswald was happy to hear from Ben, he was also sad that his friend was so far away and having such a good time without him. Monday morning, and Oswald was in a bad mood. Even his mom's pancakes didn't help. In the car, Dad turned up the radio too loud. It was some stupid song about a tractor. Oswald reached for the knob and turned it down. "Hey dude, driver picks the music, you know that," Dad said. He turned the awful song back up even louder. "It's bad music," Oswald said. "I'm trying to save you from yourself." "Well, I don't like those video game songs you listen to," Dad said, "but I don't just barge into your room and turn them off." "Yeah," Oswald said, "but I don't force you to listen to them either." Dad turned the radio down. "What's with the attitude, son? Whatever's bothering you, it's not just that I like country music." Oswald didn't feel like talking, but clearly he was being forced to. And once he opened his mouth, he was surprised to feel complaints erupting from him like lava from a volcano. "I'm tired of every day being exactly the same. Ben texted me yesterday. He's at Myrtle Beach having an awesome time. He wanted to know what I was doing, and I told him I was going to the library and Jeff's Pizza every day. And you know what he texted back? 'I'm sorry,' and 'that pizza place is creepy.'" Dad sighed. "I'm sorry we can't go on vacation and have an awesome time, Oz. Things are hard right now where money's concerned. I'm sorry it affects you. You're a kid. You shouldn't have to worry about money. I'm hoping they'll move me to full-time at the store in the fall. That'll help a lot, and if I get promoted to deli manager, it'll be another $1.50 an hour." Oswald knew he shouldn't say what he was about to say, but here he went anyway. Ben's dad got a job that pays even better than his old job at the mill. Dad tightened his grip on the steering wheel. "Yeah, well, and Ben's dad had to move 500 miles away to get that job." His voice sounded tight as his grip on the wheel, and Oswald could tell his jaw was clenched. "Your mom and I talked about it a lot, but we decided not to move, especially with your grandma living here and needing help sometimes. This is our home, kiddo, and things aren't perfect, but we just have to make the best of them." Oswald felt himself crossing the line from grumbling into grounding territory. But why did some people get the best of everything and others had to settle for free library visits and cheap pizza? "And so every day you toss me out on the street like garbage. If this is the best of things, I'd hate to see the worst." "Now, son, don't you think that's a little dramatic?" Oswald didn't stick around to hear the rest of his dad's criticism. He got out of the car and slammed the door. His dad sped away, probably glad to get rid of him. Just as he predicted, the library didn't have the book he wanted. He flipped through a few magazines, the kind with exotic jungle animals which he usually liked, but they weren't doing much for him today. When his turn came for a computer, he put in his earbuds and watched some YouTube videos, but he wasn't in a good enough mood to laugh. At lunchtime, he sat in Jeff's Pizza with his slice and soda. Every day a cheese slice. If his dad wasn't so stingy, he'd give him another $1 so he could have pepperoni or sausage. But no, it had to be the cheapest pizza you could get. Sure, money was tight, but really, was another $1 a day going to break the bank? Looking around the place, Oswald decided Ben was right. Jeff's Pizza was creepy. There were those shadowy painted-over figures on the walls, the dusty abandoned ball pit. And when he thought about it, Jeff was kind of creepy too. He looked like 100 years old, but was probably just 30. With those heavy-lidded, bloodshot eyes, the stained apron, and the slow speech and movement, he was like a zombie pizza chef. Oswald thought about his argument with Dad that morning. Soon Dad would be texting him, expecting him to come outside to the car. Well, today was going to be different. Today, Dad would have to come and find him. There was only one perfect place to hide. Oswald was going into the pit.